The mugs who work the pits use the skeletons of old shipping containers like these as makeshift sorting stations. One container's door hangs open, its hazard markings barely visible under years of soot. The ground surrounding it looks loose and unstable. I'm knee-deep in ash and debris when the ground lurches under my feet. The mugs who work the pits use the skeletons of old shipping containers. I'm knee-deep in ash and I scramble backward, my boot dislodging something heavy and probably valuable that tumbles down into the darkness. Oh, great. Industrial smelting vats for metal and scrap. But when the wasting ripped through the lowers, White Street couldn't get rid of all the bodies fast enough. I fight the urge to shield my mouth against the falling ash. There's something hidden in the ash at the base of one of the cars. A quick brush off reveals the hawkish emblem of White Street's intelligence core. The car is torn open, like an overripe fruit spilling its seeds across the ash. I ought to crack one of those larger crates open. Bingo. The glint of iron and the hot red glow of Aether gone sour. To my eyes, the ordnance looks a lot like that cockamamie Aether cannon General Eli had strapped to his truck. Only these are handheld, ready for his goose-stepping goons and their itchy trigger fingers. I spy something else buried in the straw. It's a casino chip with the name Dreamland stamped in gold. Well, well.
What is it?
The whitecap who loaded up this crate is surely gonna miss this. Seems a few of Eli's heavies spent their furlough off in Mar Magdalen's paradise of vice. Wonder if the good general knows where his boys have been sneaking off to. The guns pulse with a steady red glow. Zio always said, never touch something until you know what it does. Old man was always scared of new technology. But maybe he had the right idea. I decide to leave the souped-up guns where they are and get on with it.
Oh no. This is horrible.
I watch, befuddled, as the kid leans into a crate, ignoring the soot smearing the front of her dress, and starts tinkering with the guns. I hear a pop as she tugs at something. The angry red glow softens like a sunset.
There. The output will be trivial now.
I squint into the gloom and try to catch a closer look at the kid's hands as she works. What the hell is she up to? It doesn't take an Aethonics engineer to see she's sabotaging the guns. The whine of escaping Aether and the hot light dimming into darkness is like a candle being snuffed out. Well, Professor, I can't wait to hear your explanation for this. She continues her sabotage, the lights of the crate dimming. Then she rounds on me, her sunshine eyes burning with sudden fire. I lean back against the train carcass, letting the girl wonder do our thing. When she turns back, I watch raging fire turn to doused ash.
This is Aether. This is my field. I know the specifications. I know the output. They won't hurt anyone now, but I can still convince the buyer to take these. I know I can. Please, Gia. You saw what happened at the parade. Let me do the talking. Trust me.
She's tense, her teeth gritted. Doing this means something to her, something real. I feel a hot pressure behind my eyes. I squint it away and exhale, ash swirling around me like snow. Yeah, kid. All right. She can't suppress a squeak of delight as we load the crates together. She does a terrible job reining in the smile tugging at her cheeks. As we take off, I make a silent prayer to whoever might be listening. Please don't make me regret this. The old railway warehouse is deep in magical territory. It stinks of stale booze and dangerous boredom. Violence is crouched and ready to leap out from every crevice in this den of riveted steel and stacked crates. Last chance. You're sure you want to do the talking?
I'm good at talking. Don't be so tense, you worrywart. I have a foolproof plan. Just promise me you'll let me handle it.
I look over at our buyer, scarred by daggers and disease, and her goons flanked around her like prize steers. Then I glance back and marvel at the kid's placid smile. All right, kid. I promise. She can't possibly know how much danger we're in. Maybe it's better that way. Imported Irish whiskey. No surprise the madrigals prefer the nectar of their fair emerald isle to the swill poured here. Hard to tell if that copper tang in my nostrils is rusted iron or dried blood, until I spot the brown splotches on the floor. I watch Nellie's eyes dart from stain to stain, absorbing the remains of the last deal the madrigals conducted here. Those are Dreamland colors. So Banger and her boys are working for the infamous Mar Magdalene. Banger's cocky to be flying this flag openly on the General's Island. A rat-chewed couch marks this as a comfortable place to relax. And if you believe that, I've got a bridge you might like to buy. Bullet holes. Erratic pattern, no consistency. Suggests maybe a rat problem. Or chronic psychosis and an imaginary rat problem. Banger taps her boot impatiently on the steel gangway, her temper rising with her foot's tempo. When she speaks, her voice barks out like a Belfast crow.
8 shot?
Before I can do anything, the kid jumps in front of me.
Yes, that's me. Hello?
You're joking.
Madonna. This was the foolproof plan?
I never joke about murderous ordnance. No, ma'am.
You're 8 shot Randazzo. You're the one who tossed Nikki Grayson's place.
Yes. Yes, I sure did. Tossed it all up.
Nellie's joints are frozen in place, and Banger's mug has twisted into a mask of suspicion.
Did you know? And where is that again? You'll remember, of course, as you were there.
What are we, trading rap sheets? We came here to do business.
And just who exactly are you?
I'm here to make sure you Irish bugs don't try anything funny with my pal 8-Shot. Right, Rendazzo?
Right, my fellow paisana.
Whatever.
Nellie shoots me a less than subtle look. Banger shakes her head in a parody of grave disenchantment.
I'll admit to a feeling of disappointment. Here I thought I was meeting a living legend of the lores, but looking at you, you're a right letdown, you are.
Oh, well, I didn't exactly have time to... Is it my dress?
Nay, it's that I don't believe for a sweet second you're 8-Shot Rondazzo, and that's got me wondering, who the hell are you?
I like to think my judgment's pretty good. Better than most, anyway. But despite it, when Nellie shoots me a solicitous glance, I keep quiet and just nod silent encouragement.
I'm the person with whom you're conducting this deal, Miss Banger. I have the product you want, so I would appreciate it if we could skip the, frankly, quite rude introductions and just get on with it, okay?
I amaze myself with my ability to keep a straight face. Banger's less composed, squawking out an astonished cackle.
Can't very well argue with that now, can I? Fine.
Please, let me show you what these fine weapons are capable of.
Right. Be quick about it, or I'll skin you both with me pocket knife.
Well, you see, what's extraordinary about these particular you see, what's extraordinary about these particular firearms is, how much do you know about Aether dispersal? It's quite a basic demonstration of the Cherenkov effect, but unless you're familiar with the latest journals... Anyway, what's neat is...
The confusion on the Madrigal's faces shares a border with rage, and the map lines are quickly blurring. Nellie looks to me desperately for a lifeline. What she means to say is, one pull of the trigger, and whatever you're aiming at gets turned into tomato paste.
Yes, that's true, but think of the non-violent applications, which could open up potential career pathways not involving wanton murder.
Nah. Oh, I like tomato paste.
Okay, so we've got a deal?
Hold your horses, you mule and prat. I won't be rushed.
The kid and I watch in horror as Banger grabs one of the Aether guns. She hefts it with a cocky flourish, drawing guffaws from her mates. I try to run interference. So you're sourcing shooters from Marm now, eh, Banger? How's the old Frau looking these days? I hear she's on a drip feed of pure schnapps.
What'd you say?
Couldn't help but notice your Dreamland colors. Does the General know White Street's got a mole problem?
Fierce clever, this one. No, the big man's none the wiser. For now, that is. But when we rock up on his veranda with these beauties...
Banger spins around, aiming at a nearby crate and pulling the trigger. There's a pause, a weak puff of pink Aether exhaust, and... nothing. The crate stands resolutely intact. The silence that follows is heavy enough to crush the lungs. We're cooked.
What's this now? You trying to pull one over on us?
The Madrigals grip their iron tighter. Banger drops the Aether gun and hefts her steel cleaver. I've got half a second to make my move. It's now or never again. Every nerve in my body is screaming at me to move. But damn it, I made the kid a promise. I keep my stupid yap shut.
Please, Miss Banger. You're a rational person. Let's think about this.
No need. I believe I've made up me mind.
Wait, Don't you realize what we're offering you? Sure, these might not be ideal as weapons, but with energy output like that, you could power half a city block.
She leans down and gingerly lifts the gun Banger dropped. We all watch with dumb astonishment as she jams a cable from the gun into the motor of a nearby crane and connects the leads with the touch of a metal tool, which sets the crane whirring in a sudden screeching burst of electrical power. Like an ape tossing a beach ball, the crane flings the crate it's carrying across the warehouse. The madrigals recoil as it smashes with terrific force against a metal bulkhead behind them, shattering into splinters. Nellie returns to Banger and tosses her the gun, which she catches only by automatic reflex. She doesn't speak. Nobody does.
With the cash you'll earn by selling these, you could buy enough guns to fill this entire warehouse. But I do hope you'll consider an alternate path.
Right, well, fine then, I suppose.
Quick as silver, Banger's boys shuffle the crates away, and I find myself accepting a wad of cash from Banger like we're both in some kind of dream. The gang waves us off, and we start back to the car.
The deal went off without a hitch. You did wonderfully, Gia. And thank you.
Huh?
For trusting me.
Well, we all gotta start hustling somewhere. 8-shot.
Those things are effectively useless, so I don't feel too bad about it on the whole.
Right. Let's get out of here before Banger figures that out. Job's done. Let's get back to Tiana. We approach a checkpoint manned by an overstaffed contingent of Eli's troops. They look fat and happy, just the way I like them. This should be a breeze. I hope.
You look like a fine, upstanding citizen. Move along and have a fine day, you hear?
Tiana is speaking into the mouthpiece of an ebony telephone, her voice softer than velvet and more furious than fire.
No, this is unacceptable. Our deal was for 20%.
She spots me and motions for me to make myself comfortable while she finishes up. I gladly oblige, sinking into the cushy leather of an armchair.
There's your mistake. You don't know me. Do not presume because I am polite and beautiful that I will hesitate to collect what is mine. Tell Victor I will visit him in 3 days.
She hangs up, breathing out hours of stress in a single sigh. She's instantly composed again. Hard day?
Oh, Mishichu. I didn't realize you cared. It's been harrowing. No one wants to work anymore. Fortunately, I have you.
Maybe if you kept your other pawns in the dark, they'd happily run off a cliff for you.
Have I upset you? You're sitting across from me now, are you not? You aren't a child. Do not whine like one.
These things are more than just pop guns. You could bring down an island with that kind of firepower. That doesn't bother you?
No, it does not. I know better than to visit the kitchen to see how the cow is butchered. I simply enjoy my steak.
Well, bully for you. Some of us still have a conscience, you know.
Ha! Come, come. Tell me how things went with the madrigals.
Smooth as silk. Even got a bit of help from the kid.
Really?
Yeah, she neutered the guns, but managed to convince Banger to buy them anyway.
Well, well. How remarkable.
I hand to Yana the wad of dough and wait patiently as she counts the bills. Satisfied, she places the cash in a cigar box and hands me a slip of paper.
Your payment, as promised.
Think it was a mistake to leave Banger alive?
My father used to say, your enemies cannot hunt you if they're dead. I'm not sure I believe that. What do you believe?
I slide my hand into my coat pocket to hide the sudden tremble at my fingertips. I don't know.
Giovanna, I've never known you to look over your shoulder. Byrne is an angry pup, and you brought her to heel. I wouldn't worry.
What do you think this stuff is going to mean for the lowers?
Well, I do not have my great-grandmother's gift for sight, but my guess would be it will mean the same thing it usually means. People will die, and those like you and I will profit greatly.
And you're comfortable with that?
Of course.
I get the feeling you're itching to tell me how you would have done things differently if you were me.
No need to be coy. If you're curious, I will tell you. The truth is, what's done is done. Everything else is smoke in the wind.
Gotta get going.
Always a pleasure. We're overdue for a proper chat. Come by later. I will make tea. And Giovanna?
I'm reaching for the door, its cold brass cooling my hand. I turn back for a moment.
Try not to let that conscience of yours bother you too much.
At that, I can't help but grin.
Miss Randazzo, before I forget, another package arrived for you.
Package? I didn't order anything.
Ain't my business. Just letting you know.
You said another?
Yes, ma'am. That's the 5th one in 2 days. Good thing you got that Heights girl to collect them for you. Here you are.
It's a big, mysterious wooden box. The kind you check for hidden wires or a whiff of gunpowder. What I find rocks my feet just as hard as any explosive. A shipping label addressed to 8-Shot Randazzo. Where's Nellie?
I haven't seen her since this morning.
Damn it. I gotta find the kid. Better start asking around. If anyone knows anything, it's Cress. press. You seen Nellie?
Yeah, I've seen him. Your client came in here asking for a place to stay. Brought rent and coffee. So, I gave her keys to the greenhouse. You're tense. Everything good, Gia?
No. I stalked the rows of dim glass panes and dead brown fields like a specter in search of a soul who wronged me. Maybe she has, but the voice that drifts through the cracked door is more delighted squeal than malevolent cackle. I all but storm her lair. It's hot. The blood to my head, the sweat in my gloves, the sticky air of a previously dark and gloomy greenhouse.
Now for the... Oh, Gia! I'm so glad you came. I'm not finished setting up yet, but I'm getting close.
What the hell is all this?
I'm setting up shop. By shop, of course, I mean research laboratory.
Nellie's chalkboard is crammed to the edges with physics equations and calculations and all sorts of mathematical junk I can't begin to parse. The scent of decades-old mulch is a kick to my senses. It's still not enough to make me forget why I'm here. The corner's a hill's worth of aged crates and rusted farm tools. It wouldn't be the first thing carelessly thrown around.
So, what do you think?
A package arrived for me. Or should I say, for you. If I had any doubts about who was using my name, they're stomped flat by the recognition barreling off Nellie's face. My face fights to stay calm.
Oh, wonderful! That's the Aether capacitor I was waiting for.
Nellie, why are you making orders under my name?
Oh, well, to stop the well, I need lab supplies. To get supplies, I need people willing to sell to me. I noticed how much weight your name carried in the lowers, so I borrowed it. To help grease the wheels, so to speak. Oh dear. I'm sorry. I probably should have asked. You're not angry, are you?
I slam the package on the table. The blast of sound rattles the windows, freezing the kid to the floor. Angry doesn't cover it. You can't go throwing the name 8-Shot around.
What? But other people call you that all the time. Like Banger. And Needles, too.
You got lucky. Banger would have cut you to shreds if I wasn't the go-between. And Needles? That prick knew me before I got the name. And if he was a bigger bastard, he could have gone for you to get to me.
I didn't... I'm so sorry. I truly am. I had no idea it would cause you so much trouble.
Molten protest scorches my throat. I want to snarl where this oblivious airhead can stick her apology, but the words sputter out, doused by a second of clarity. You don't know anything. A sudden weight presses down on my shoulders. I barely feel the splinters as I take a seat. It isn't until I wave my hat at the opposite crate that the kid sits too. A job went sideways. My job. Needles and I were moving cargo for a big shot. It should have been a career maker. But we messed up. We drew fire and I had to make a call that cost us the cargo. Knew there'd be consequences. Just didn't know how bad they'd be. It was my screw-up, but Zio Alfonso insisted he come along to give our client, Valentine, the bad news. He told me not to say a word. Not about the shipment, not about Needles. Not that I was the one behind the wheel. I've run through that day 1,000,000 times in my head. I should have had a back door. A way out when things turned sour. If only. The room was cold. Valentine sat there like a judge waiting for his end-of-day docket. He was calm at first. He asked what went wrong, whose fault it all was. Zio stepped forward, ready to take the blame. He tried to explain it all away. He could talk his way out of anything. Then, he couldn't. I don't remember the last thing he said before I felt his chest go still. Dark silhouettes slither out from the black spots in my vision. I see him on the floor. I feel the cold. I hear his last, frightened breath rattle out of his throat.
Chia, are you okay?
No.
Clean that up before you go. I don't want him staining the floor.
John Valentine, the butcher of Southtown, savior of the 7 uprisings, richer than kings. My big break. A man they said was untouchable. I decided to test that theory. I emptied my revolver into him, right there. I emptied every cylinder. All 7 shots hit their mark. But it wasn't enough. It was the 8th shot that turned me into the monster. My fingers twitch under a phantom recoil, kicking me back to the present. Instead of a skyscraper with 2 cooling bodies, I'm back in a dingy greenhouse with a wide-eyed girl.
What happened after that?
My fingers twitch again. I haven't missed a cigarette this much since my apartment flooded. I got out.
They just let you go? After you took out their employer?
Didn't realize their boss was dead yet. Probably thought he was the one holding the gun. And they were busy finishing up with someone else. I wasn't the only one who had to report in. Except while Zio and I got the big man, Needles had to answer to a knife. Neither of us walked out of there unscathed. Between the job gone wrong, Zio, Valentine's goons, and our falling out, Piotr had plenty of reason to be mad. I just hate that the reason he owed me his life was the same reason he resented me. Didn't end with Valentine. He wasn't a baron, but he was a man of the city in his own right. Enough people wanted him avenged.
And they're still after you? Is that why your name's so dangerous?
Not as much as there used to be, but I try not to invite trouble. I might have become 8-shot when I killed Valentine, but I hadn't cemented its meaning until I put enough bullets into everyone sent after me. I lost my rep, my name. That's what. In this line of work, all it takes is one bad job to wipe years of goodwill.
But that's not fair! He killed your uncle!
Think about it, Professor. If one of your colleagues snapped and killed the dean, you think anyone would care why?
I suppose not.
That's right. Because as far as anyone cares, I screwed up a job and killed my client. That's enough to scare off anyone. And while some respect the name, most don't. Sure, it might have some pull in this part of town, but it's not a badge of honor. It's a reminder of one of the darkest days in my life.
Oh, Chia. I'm so sorry.
She smiles and the sun comes out. The dark days of the past fade back where they belong.
And I'll register an official address and sign for my own packages from now on.
You better, Principessa.
Hi, Gia.
A lab, huh? This where you're going to fix the well?
Yes. Once I finish setting up, I'll need to reconstruct my notes. I've already written down the most important parts, but I'll need time to integrate the new data, and proper equipment to start prototyping, of course. At the very least, I'll need an etheric counter, paneling, coiling, and a complete toolkit. Fortunately, I've gotten a head start. Cress won't mind the mess, will she?
Just don't break any windows. I thought you lost your money with the briefcase. Where'd you get the cash for this place?
I earned it. I might not have your talent for smuggling, but no one in the hole knows Aethonics like me. Compared to solving Morrison's experiment, fixing a light or a wire is trivial. And sometimes I make shopping runs or watch pets.
And no one's given you any trouble?
Well, not everyone's friendly, but whenever things start turning ugly, I just say I know 8. I know you, and they leave me alone. You're pretty famous around here, you know.
Doubt this place is what you're used to.
It's nice, spacious, and it has excellent ventilation, for an old greenhouse, that is. Once I finish decluttering and decontaminating all the surfaces, I'm sure it'll start feeling homey. It's so exciting! I've never had a space to truly make my own. Goodbye for now!
That's the last of the jobs I had lined up. I should catch up with Tiana while I've got air. I can last one more day.
Bravo.
That's all?
Bravo. If you can't find someone to clear out the warehouse before they arrive, I expect you have the survival instinct to do it yourself. Prioritize guns, clean water, anything that can be moved quickly. Ah, stravo, Giovanna. Come, I'll open the wine.
Tiana used to trade her imported smokes for information mixed with good conversation. When I converted the cigarettes into a demon on my back, we swapped vices. I take my seat while Tiana produces a bottle with just the right number of zeros attached to it. She starts me off with a finger's worth. How much did you make of our last chat again?
Don't pout. You know the rules. You supply the conversation, I supply the wine.
Fine. What do you want to know this time?
Tell me, how is White Street?
You should already know. You've got people out there.
Oh, Giovanna. I do not hire them for their conversational skills. Paint me a picture of it all.
A thought occurs to me at the same time a grin escapes the corner of my mouth. You're blind. You really don't know.
I see more than you do, Machichu.
It's bleak, with the renewed war effort and red Aether and increased arrests. It's only going to get worse.
It does not take the sight to see that. Eli's become too proud to accept that he's past his prime. White Street will never again reach those heights they once did.
Even with those weapons you had me swipe?
If wars were decided by a few crates of guns, the lowers would be a far less profitable place. His red aether provides opportunity, and many have watched Eli with a dark fascination.
Like you. Tiana's smile glints gold in the yellow light of her parlor. I wonder how many of those terrible weapons have suddenly appeared in one of her many warehouses across the lowers. She refills my glass, and we share a drink over chatter, though it's not long before I find a common thread woven within her questioning. I know I haven't traveled much lately, but I do know more than just White Street. What are you not telling me? Her manicured finger dances around the rim of her glass, while her silent eyes dangle my own question in the air in front of me like string on a cat's nose.
Ah, you are a good investment, Mushichu. And this information is old anyway.
How generous of you.
Not at all. You're lucky, you know, that you finished your business in White Street when you did. An order went out last night. All able-bodied citizens are to report for draft.
I feel a black glove yank my stomach into my throat. It started like this last time, too.
Those who do not report are to be considered disloyal.
Eli's starting another purge. I need to talk to Cress. You don't seem too cut up about the whole thing. A pained expression contorts her face. She puffs on her cigarette petulantly.
Don't be cruel.
And you knew, didn't you? Before the order even came out, you couldn't have given me a heads up? Even Cress? Or were you too busy?
Do not make me the villain, Giovanna. You were down there. If you didn't see what has been obvious for some time, that is on you.
You know more than you're letting on.
Yes.
Tiana, please. Cress has people down there. Her narrowed eyes soften.
I know the shooting has already started. I know White Street soldiers are going door to door in the civilian districts. I know that Eli intends this to be his final purge. If Cress has anyone left over there, now would be the time to get them out.
I think of the Raymond district and tell myself needles would have run before the first shot. If the Whitecaps are in the civilian districts, it won't be long before they delve into the Undercity. My heart floods into my eyes and ears as I run to the garage to find Cress. Maybe there's still time, too. Deaf and blind, I skid through the door to find her hunched over a table, staring at a radio all gone to static. Cress, I just heard from Tiana. It's Eli.
I know.
She's unfocused, agitated, uneasy. Dust meanders in and out of the void between us. What does she mean? Why is she just standing there?
I have another job for you. Pays well. More than anything you've taken since your uncle died. Do it, and I consider us even. For all of it.
Cress?
It's my sponsor. And me. We need you to go back into White Street.
Look, Cress. I can't stay in the dark about this any longer. I risked my neck over that prison break. I did that for you. Not some anonymous backseat driver with cash to blow.
Quit pushing it. When everything is over, I'll tell you what you want to know.
Why all the secrecy? This guy threatening you?
No, it's not like that. You'll understand when you meet him. You can shake the answers out of him then. He's a good man, but right now, people need our help.
She's right. If I'm taking this job, we're on a tight deadline. But I can't stop that uneasy itch from spreading over my whole body. Cress, are you okay?
I'm fine.
Where's the pickup location? If they're too deep in White Street, it'll be near impossible getting to them.
In the civilian district, there's an old theater. From before Eli banned screenings that weren't propaganda reels. The West...
I map it out in my head. Sounded doable at least. Less impossible than the other parts of White Street during a purge. Low priority area, less security, lots of routes in and out. Who are these people? And why are they on Eli's hit list?
They're disloyal. Aethenians and others. White Street nobodies. They'd be under notice if Eli wasn't cleaning house. His new weapons? Finally ready for war. So he's removing any chance of a two-front fight.
If they're high on his list, he might be sending more firepower than I can handle.
I'm not asking you to take on an army. Just to pick up and run. As fast as you can.
Okay, Cress. We'll get them out.
Come on. We need to be there yesterday. Make sure everything's ready to go. We can't afford to detour.
Smoke rises in the distance.
The Western is over there.
We need to be careful. Stay close.
No. Not again.
Everything is still. A picture of devastation. The smoke, the bodies, the amber light casting shadows on shades of gray. Nellie, stay here. I'm going to check if anyone's still alive. Cress? She's already moving, wordlessly racing from body to body, as though there was still time to do anything. The tall man is dead. Or perhaps it isn't a man at all. I can't make out more than tattered overalls and a color that will forever ruin summer sunsets. This city has a saying. We all gotta take the final ferry trip someday. I can't give them much, but maybe I can pay their last fare. I flip his fare. Wherever he is, I hope it's somewhere he's whole again. A young boy, no more than 16. His eyes pale and white. He stares up unendingly into an iron sky. I flip his coin high, following the arc of his final gaze. I lean too close, and the small woman raises a hand to touch mine. It's gentle and weak, her cold, soft skin conveying too much in a language I could not understand before falling to the ground, speechless. I gently flip her coin, leaving it in her cooling palm. Movement from the epicenter of destruction. My heart squeezes out of every fingertip. I catch my breath and reach for my piece, when a voice pierces the quiet.
You... I remember you.
I had expected a smell, something burnt or tinged, but instead, nothing. Just floating dust and ash dancing. Enough lead was poured into the building to cast a solid mold of the place. This was personal. Or the fervor of a madman. Shuffled steps echo in a lonely, offbeat march. But it's the breathing, thin and slow, like a whisper carried by the breeze, that tells me she's already dead.
You came.
Her solemn advance is halted by a short wobble and the start of an inevitable fall. Cress's arms catch her before she hits ground.
Maria! Maria, what happened here? Where is...
Eli. He wanted the underground.
No, this wasn't supposed to happen.
You have to stop him.
Cress moves to say something in return. Anything at all. To speak some final words with her friend. Maria doesn't notice. She's become a recording, determined to play back her message one last time.
He's going to...
She panics as urgency spills out the few heartbeats she has left. Cress pulls the body into her arms.
Alex, is he...
I look at the body that was once a tall man with blue overalls. There's barely enough to call it a person. But deep down, I know whose pale eyes died reaching for the sky.
Alex?
We have him. Don't worry. Cress looks at me like a newly born ghost might regard the Reaper. With fear, anger, and relief.
And the baby?
I am heavy. I am the trembling iron ground. I am a warm corpse with no words of comfort.
Baby's all right.
Her final comfort given, Cress closes Maria's eyes and puts her to rest with her husband and friends.
I'm gonna kill him.
Cress, look, I get it. But first, we need to get out of here. We'll come up with a plan later.
I got a plan. It involves taking the bastard out before he kills any more of us.
You're not thinking straight. There's an army between you and him. Eli's got a cannon that can take out a crowd in a single shot. Even if you get to him, how are you getting out?
Let me worry about that. You wanna walk? Fine. The job's over. But I wasn't doing this for money. So unless you're helping, get out of the way.
I could argue all I want. Tell her I was looking out for her. Try to stop her. It wouldn't change a thing. Just make me a hypocrite. I watch her drive off, not knowing if I'd ever see her again. Empty-handed, smoke fading, I start back towards the car and Nellie. I'm still among the wreckage when the air comes alive. White Street engines growl from every angle.
Gia!
I brake for the car, but their headlights rush me, fencing me in. A harsh beam splits the path between me and Nellie. No time to get to the car. Not without us both getting caught.
Nellie, get out of here!
But Gia!
Drive!
The kid's fighting fresh tears, but she's smart. She takes the wheel. The car lurches down the street like a wounded animal while I throw the whitecaps as sacrificial lamb. As they pull up, I step into the spotlight.
Well, you showed up after all. A little disappointed, if I'm being honest. I thought the boss behind these traitors would be tougher.
Look, fellas, I don't know who you think I am, but...
Save it for the General. He's been wanting to speak to you for a long time. And don't worry about those friends of yours. They'll be joining you soon.
I'm bound and thrown headfirst into the back of a dark lockbox. Muffled voices drift in through rusted steel.
I thought we were looking for a rat. She don't have vermin eyes.
Don't be stupid. Who puts rats in charge?
The door of my prison is thrown open to a blinding light and a company of stoic soldiers.
Move!
The Overlook sits under the crushing shadow of Eli's citadel, surveying the civilian district. Several guards, the general, and a sterile white place setting of fine china and silver contrast the gloom.
On your knees.
The unfeeling steel pulls all the warmth from my body through my knees. If I can just get free of these ropes, I could lose the soldiers down there. If the films about it were true, the Citadel has enough supplies to last a siege 100 years. A silent jury eagerly waits for judgment to come. One look at me and the General's teacup comes down with a decisive clink.
The spirited lieutenant from the gala, of course. You were foolish to show yourself, but I respect a leader who commands from the front.
Yeah, I was at your gala. Someone paid me to sneak in, but it's got nothing to do with any rebellion.
You seem to believe confessing to a lesser crime will spare you. You're wrong.
Look, General, you looking for a rebel leader? You got the wrong woman. I mean, look at me. The General holds up his gloved hand, gently, commanding silence while pulling me into its gravity. His eyes analyze me sharply before turning to look across the civilian district.
It was many years ago now. I'd watch as my fellow comrades refused to amputate their diseased limbs. It was too much for them. Too terrible to consider losing an arm or leg, thinking it would all get better on its own. I thought those men cowards. I loved them, but thought them short-sighted. But now, I must admit, compassion for them. Understanding.
He turns back to me and lowers his cup, a small clink accenting his words.
I see now that I am guilty of that same cowardice. Every time I removed insurrection, disease from my barony, I feared cutting too far. I hoped you all would see. But today, I make things right.
By burning down theaters?
By burning away all traces of infection that you spread. You've seen the destruction around Santa Anita. Another mistake from cowardice. I attempted peace once. I will not make the same mistake twice. You corrupted my quartermaster. You disrupted our supply line and threw priceless cargo to a pack of thugs. You and your accomplice sabotaged a night meant to honor good men and women. You even brought a Heights assassin to bear. And while the symptoms of the infection that can be alleviated, traitors can be executed, additional weapons can be manufactured, assassins can be imprisoned. But this little insurrection of yours has proven difficult to cure. Until now.
That's a hell of a list. What makes you so sure I did it?
You made an impression on one of my intelligence officers, Officer Randall Pitt. He initially reported you and your sister as upstanding citizens vital to his efforts to root out corruption in the scrapyard. It came as a surprise when these same women were spotted spreading disorder across the barony.
I don't know any assassin. If you're counting my crimes, at least attribute them correctly.
You would disown your comrades so quickly?
Look, I don't have the slightest idea what you're talking about. He slams his fist on the table, snarling and puffing out his chest.
He killed 30 of my men during the arrest. 30. He will rot inside a metal box until I send him wrapped in iron back to old New York.
My mouth dries up faster than a snake stuck in the high noon Egyptian sun. A bullet to the back of the head is suddenly a rosy idea next to the risk of a coffin drop. Who let an assassin run rampant? Who let a shipment of weapons vanish under their watch? Who let a forged invite and a counterfeit uniform through the front door?
You ask questions I already know the answer to. I blame the disease. I don't fault my arms and legs for failing when they are attacked so mercilessly from within.
If your mind's made up, why am I still breathing? You need something, or your men would have shot me on the street.
After the Philippines, I promised my men a home. That one day, we could lay down arms and enjoy the remainder of our lives in peace, for the sake of those no longer with us. I believe, with your help, that day is within our grasp.
What do you need me for? He pulls out a leather notebook. The last time I saw, it was in the hands of Tobias Dufresne.
My men took this from your assassin. I'm told it suggests how to manipulate the well. Answer me. What are these? The musings of a lunatic. Schemes for a new weapon.
You wouldn't believe me if I told you.
Years ago, you would have been correct. I would have even dismissed Red Aether as a fairy tale. I've become a more open-minded man. What is this device? Tell me, and I will be lenient.
A frigid shiver attacks my flesh from neck to ankle. The answer is a long shot, but it's the only card I have left. All right, that's research from the heights. The well's expanding. It's growing fast and it's going to get bad. According to those heights scientists, the well's going to take down the whole lowers. Someone's working on a fix, but they need that device.
An unlikely story. But I have no choice but to believe it.
If you've read the journal, you know what kind of risky situation we're in.
You think we don't know the risks? We didn't need some book to tell us. White Street is familiar with Aether's side effects. Headaches, mania, sickness. We discovered as the well grew, the strength of the wasting did also. To combat it, I made us strong again. Once we had united the lowers, we would have led the search for a cure together. But now, a cure has come to us.
Yeah, but it's all fantasy unless you know how to use it. Give me the book. You'll never hear from me again, and I'll throw in fixing the well for free.
You misunderstand. I believe you, but I cannot let you live. You have killed my men, sowed discord at every corner of this barony. No, you cannot live. You are the disease.
He turns to the civilian district, chest out, welcoming a crisp breeze. His guards snap to attention in anticipation for some unknown cruelty.
And I can no longer suffer the limb that gives the disease shelter.
Like a conductor masterfully controlling his orchestra, the general raises his hand. In the distance, blazes begin to erupt all across the civilian district, like fireflies dancing on a mass grave.
With this, White Street will no longer be impeded. We will reclaim all that was once ours and save the lowers. Unfortunately, you will not live to see such a world. But you will have a swift death.
He snaps his fingers, and by speechless command, his guards move forward. I feel a barrel press against the back of my head. My mind races. I look for another way out. My options aren't good. Hands tied, outnumbered, outdrawn. I tell myself to keep looking for something. Anything. The gun cocks. The fires and the screams and the crumbling buildings feel muted, making way for the bang that never comes. Hissing shrieks fill the air. Every pipe on the roof bursts, flooding the veranda and crashing into White Street's discipline like a wave through a sandcastle.
What's happening?
Get to the general! Idiots! Back into position, now!
While everyone's scrambling to order, no one hears the scrape of a grate or the emergence of a glowing-eyed specter. In that moment, Cress Carter is every Aether Rat horror story. Vengeful, silent, murderous, the harbinger of a brutal ending. Then those pale eyes see me, and the mask splits. I see a Cress on the cusp of her revenge, and a Cress realizing how badly I need her help. She only has time to be won. My soul curls in on itself. Deep down, I know that Cress deserves her revenge as much as I did. I nod towards Eli, head as heavy as a gavel. Instead, she pulls me from the soldiers.
Brace yourself.
Shouts and a shot chase us through the thinning steam to the open grating and into darkness. I nearly bite through my lip fighting a scream when we hit hard tunnel flooring, but I hold it long enough for Cress to slide the grating back. The ropes are barely off before those glowing pale eyes round on me.
Damn it, Gia! I had him! I was close! I had him! What the hell happened? I leave you alone for 5 minutes, and your damn client's throttling your car and screaming about how you've been arrested. If she hadn't drove full speed in the wrong direction, she would have run into a full squad of whitecaps instead of me. What in the hell are you—
They jumped me at the pickup after you left. They were looking for some rebel group. Cress, you're not the leader they're looking for, are you?
No, I'm...
Our time's cut short by a mob of boots pounding the tunnel walls. We gotta move. Where's Nellie?
Keeping the car warm. Be ready to take over. Driving really isn't something you should ever let her do again.
I'd seen how many soldiers Eli had. I'd seen how set he was on my execution. Ready or not, we weren't getting out of White Street without a fight.
Damn fool. I would have given you a kinder end, but you forced my hand. To save White Street, I must forsake leniency.
You don't know a damn thing about leniency.
Another Aether Rat. If you give up your co-conspirators, I'll spare Samuel Lowe from questioning.
I'll kill you first.
Going soft, General?
Damn tyrant.
This could be all she wrote.
Damn fool. I would have given
You
enough.
Going soft, General?
damn tyrant. You fought your last battle, old man.
No! He removed the power limiter!
What's that mean?
It's releasing an astronomical amount of energy and overheating the engine. He's hurting himself every time he uses that cannon.
Then all we gotta do is outlast him. Not my finest hour.
Damn fool. I would have...
You don't...
Another...
I'll kill you.
Going soft, General?
Damn, tyrant. Fought your last battle, old man.
No! He removed the power limiter!
What's that mean?
It's releasing an astronomical amount of energy and overheating the engine. He's hurting himself every time he uses that cannon.
Then all we gotta do is outlast him.
Damn fool. I would have given you another...
I'll kill...
Going soft, General?
Damn tyrant. Fought your last battle, old man.
No! Remove the power limit!
What's that mean?
It's releasing an astronomical amount of energy and overheating the engine. He's hurting himself every time he uses that cannon.
Then all we gotta do is outlast him.
Today I make things right. Today your insurrection ends. For a better, peaceful tomorrow. For White Street. For all of New York!
Not looking good. Retreat, Crest. I'll take it from here.
Damn fool. I would have...
You don't...
Another...
I'll kill you.
Going soft, General?
Damn, tyrant. You fought your last battle, old man.
called the raw power of concentrated Aether!
No! He removed the power limiter!
What's that mean?
It's releasing an astronomical amount of energy and overheating the engine! He's hurting—
Then all we gotta...
Damn fool. I would have given you a card.
You don't.
Another?
How cute.
Going soft, General?
Damn, tyrant. fought your last battle, old man.
This could be all she wrote.
Behold the raw power of concentrated Aether!
No! He removed the power limiter!
What's that mean?
It's releasing an...
Then all we gotta do is out...
Leaking Aether.
Today I make things right. Today your insurrection ends. For a better, peaceful... Damn fool. I would have...
You don't...
Another...
I'll kill...
Damn, tyrant. You fought your last battle, old man.
No!
What does that mean?
Releasing it.
Then all we gotta do is... Retreat, Cress. I'll take it from here.
Today I make things right. Today...
One look at me and
The spirited lieutenant from the gala.
Yeah, I was at your...
You seem to be...
Look, General. The General
It was many years. I thought those...
He turns back
I see now.
by burning...
By burning away. You and your... You eat. And while traitors can be executed.
That's a hell of a list.
You may... He initially reported you and your...
I don't know any...
You were disowned.
Look, he slams his...
He killed 30 of my... He will rot.
My mouth dries up. Who let an assassin run?
You asked...
If you're mine...
After the Philippines, I believe...
What do you need me? He pulls out...
My men took...
You wouldn't believe me if I told you.
Years ago, what is...
A frigid shit. All right. According to those...
An unlikely story.
You've read the journal.
You think we don't... White Street is to combat it.
Yeah.
You miss...
He turns to the...
And...
Like a conductor.
With this...
He snaps his fingers. And by speechless command, his guards move forward. I feel my mind, the gun, hissing shriek.
What's happening? Get to the general, idiot!
While everyone's scrambling, then those pale eyes see me, my soul. Instead,
Brace yourself.
shouts and the ropes are bare.
Damn it, Gia. What the hell happened? If she hadn't...
They jump me at the Cress.
No, I'm
Our time's cut. We gotta move.
keeping the car warm.
I'd seen how many soldiers Eli had.
Damn fool. I would have given you...
You don't...
Another...
I'll kill you.
Going soft, General?
tyrant. Your last battle, old man.
No! You removed the power limiter!
What's that mean?
It's releasing an ash.
Then all we gotta do is out. That one hurt.
White Street will once again have our place in the sun! Damn fool.
You don't...
Another...
I'll kill you.
Going soft, General?
Damn tyrant. Aether. You fought your last battle.
I make things right. Today, your insurrection...
Retreat, Cress. I'll take it from here.
Damn fool. I would.
You don't.
Another.
I'll kill.
Going soft, General?
Damn, tyrant. Fought your last battle, old man.
Today I make things right. Today.
No! You removed the power limiter!
What's that mean?
It's releasing an astronomical...
Then all we gotta do... Not my finest hour.
Damn fool. I would have given you a Kyber.
You don't...
Another?
Okay.
Going soft, General?
Damn, tyrant. Your land.
No! You removed the power limiter!
What's that mean?
It's releasing it.
Then all we gotta do...
today I make...
Targets are melting! Gia, if he uses that cannon any longer, he'll...
Better him than us.
This can't be! I have a destiny! White Street has a destiny!
Half the car is gone, vaporized into nothing. What remains of the weapon, the journal of research, and the blood-stained tyrant lies unrecognizable, twisted within a tangle of aether and iron.
He deserved worse.
I know, but we can't stick around. We gotta get out of White Street. A barren seat going empty never ends with peace. Eli's death is going to set the lowers on fire. There's no ticker tape or cheering crowd waiting for us back at the hole. Only quiet shadows and an escape from a corner of the world turned upside down. Cress slips away, leaving me and Nellie under a cloud of uncertainty.
Oh, Gia, I'm so glad you're alive. I didn't want you to die.
The kid is barely out of the car before her arms are around my neck and she buries her head in my coat. A somber mumble creeps out from under the silent tears and rough leather.
If Eli is no longer in charge, what happens to White Street? I know elections aren't common down here, but surely there must be some kind of succession plan.
I gently disengage from the kid. Nothing pleasant. Lowers barons usually stay in charge until they're bumped off. Only a few stick around long enough to think about passing it on. Fewer actually do. The general had a chain of command, but no official successor. Knowing White Street, their leadership will fight it out, if the other baronies don't move in on them first.
But they don't... The war won't keep going, will it?
White Street's been fighting ever since Eli created it. Even if they're soldiers who want out, doubt the big guys on top would allow a ceasefire.
Oh.
Can't stop them all, kid. Just remember, they might be fighting each other, but they don't have Eli's weapon anymore. It's not much consolation, but it's enough to stoke a dying spark into a hopeful little flame.
That's right. I checked the weapon myself. Its core components were damaged beyond repair, so the chances of anyone using it again should be impossible. More importantly, it made me realize something. All my calculations about the well, I think they've been off.
You missed something.
No! Maybe. I hadn't considered red Aether. It was banned, and it's terribly inefficient. So much the energy just spilling out. But if I adjust my numbers to match that cannon...
The gears are already back to work, filling Nellie's head with something other than a blown-out theater, dead friends, and smoldering islands. I hear a clatter from the garage, and wonder if Cress is trying to do the same. I should check on her. I find Cress back under her junker. She usually handles it with a steady hand and a rhythmic bang of tools. Right now, the wrench moves a step too quick, jerking the car into the occasional convulsing shake.
Buzz off, Gia. I'm busy.
Sure you should be working right now?
What else should I be doing? Having a drink? So what if Eli's dead? I can't celebrate. I messed up, and people are dead.
You didn't pull the trigger. You didn't kill those people.
I got them involved. I made them a target. I never should have let them help with the escape. We both know you don't beat barons by playing fair. But what difference does it make? All those tyrants need is to snap their fingers, and everyone you love is gone.
Cress, I know what you're thinking, but you can't go there.
That's the problem. I wasn't thinking. I should have grabbed them sooner. Asked Iron Hand for help. I should have left you out of it. They were gonna shoot you, and it would have been my fault. I dragged you into this whole mess.
She fights with something deep under the car. I eye the lift for the rusted junker nervously as it gives a warning groan. It echoes in the garage like a crack before an avalanche. I grab a spare creeper and roll under the car beside Cress. Her eyes remain fixed to some rusty bolt, but as the creaking of the jack becomes distant, her shoulders loosen.
Hand me that wrench. The one to your left. The bolts, too.
I grab her what she needs, and she continues to work, seemingly on nothing.
I never told you how I got out of my contract.
You threatened to break my jaw for asking too many personal questions when we first met, remember? A snort, the first crack of joy on a bleak day, before silence swallowed it back up. I look over at Cress, a new look filling her eyes, and reach over, taking her hand in mine. It's grimy and sweaty and overheated, but it seems like the only thing I could do.
Two barons were fighting. No relation to White Street. Just another pair of tyrants playing tug-of-war over our island. They fought for a whole year. Banners and contract terms changed every few months. Nothing new, until those bastards decided to hit the generators. Topsiders ran, we stayed. Our contracts don't give us a choice. And the Terriers locked the doors. Who cares if rats die or get hurt, as long as the rest of you keep flying?
She runs a thumb along the curve of her metal wrist, eyes distant.
When an island begins to fall, it starts with a terrible metal screaming. You can't yell. You can't hear yourself. Then the generators fail, and everything is quiet. It's a terrible quiet, worse than the screaming.
She pauses and rolls out from under the car. I follow. Without the massive weight above us, we breathe in unison. You're not useless, Cress. The whole island was falling. What could you do?
The whole island was falling because it was my station. It was me, what I couldn't do. After that, every shift changed. Every missed quota, every job I couldn't finish. The looks I got because I was half a person. I was dead weight. They were just too nice to say it.
No warring barony should have left their generators unguarded. Even the hull goes out of its way to protect theirs.
They did, but no defense is perfect. Like at the tomb. Be stubborn enough and everything's got a weak spot. Ours was several layers of iron getting blasted over and over until something gave.
But the generator turned back on.
I tried everything.
She shrugs her shoulder and holds up her metal arm in the dim light.
Finally, it started working again.
And that got you out of your contract?
No, that was my parents. I had 40 years left, plus another 10 for letting the generators fail. My parents didn't want me dying like that. Stuck in some iron coffin as it fell to the ground. Iron Hand found a loophole in my contract. With us changing hands so often during the war, someone that got sloppy. Left in something that would allow me to transfer my years to family.
And that's how you landed in the hole in the underground.
Eventually, the hole needed a mechanic. Didn't matter what color the eyes were. The underground came later, and they didn't care either. They just wanted people willing to fight to change the world. But I messed that up too. I couldn't help Alex and Maria, or anyone else in the theater. So yeah, I can't fix a damn thing.
So what, you planning on staying down here forever?
Got any better ideas?
It's not all on you. You still got people. We still need you. And not just because you're a crackshot mechanic.
Yeah.
We've been through it, but we can move forward. Together.
I'll think about it, maybe. But anyway, I'm not what you should be most worried about. You killed a Baron today.
I didn't do anything. Eli blew himself up.
That's not what people saw. You took him on, and then he blew up. People aren't gonna look any further than that.
Her words hit the mark. I could shoot up goons all day and it wouldn't scare off a single good job. But someone who mattered? Killing Valentine had turned me from reliable to bloodthirsty killer. Killing a Baron would make me a rabid dog in need of being put down. I pulled myself up after Valentine. I'll figure something out.
You need more than that.
Yeah, I'm dry on favors, and Mr. Blanc doesn't work with liabilities.
Just meet me at the lighthouse. I might have something for you.
Smoke and shadows fill a room of maps, radios, and pneumatic tubes. But in the jumble of business, everything still points to a single figure coolly leaning against the far wall.
You wanted to know who my sponsor is? Gia, I'd like to introduce you to the underground.
The figure steps forward, tall and confident, his voice pouring through the haze like a steady stream of olive oil from a broken cask.
Name's Apollo Diamond. And darling, we have a lot to talk about.
In the comics, the cops always have photos of the dastardly perps they're chasing pinned to a corkboard. Here, the hunters aren't lawmen, and the targets aren't slab-jawed gangsters with names like Jimmy the Shark. They're the actual barons of our own city. Radio consoles sporting complex buttons, dials, and wires indicate the underground spent some serious coin on communications. Makes sense a secret rebel faction would have lines of clandestine contact throughout the city.
You've been a very busy little bee, and we've been paying close attention. Your little rendezvous with the madrigals, for instance. Personally, I wouldn't have let any of those cockroaches leave that warehouse alive. You may come to regret that choice.
What? You been keeping tabs on me?
There's White Street's quartermaster, of course. Out of the picture now, thanks to you. Easy enough for us to buy off the secret police, but making those hard choices, that's what counts.
Chris, you've been telling this guy everything, haven't you?
Miss Carter told us how you saved this Needles fellow at the General's Gala. Friends stick together. We appreciate that kind of loyalty.
Right. Well, pleasure's mine and all that, but just so you know, I don't like being watched.
Oh, comes with the job. You already know my associate, old Iron Hand here.
Nice to see you again. I'm glad you and Cressa are both safe.
Sam Lowe seems more tense than when I first met him, as though standing next to a movie star makes him uncomfortable. Or maybe it's something entirely different. No, it goes deeper than that. It's in the lines of their bodies, the energy they project into this cramped space. These men are like oil and water, fundamentally opposed. Diamond fidgets like a caged animal. Lowe is rooted to the spot like a load-bearing beam. These two are a powder keg. All they need is a spark.
Glad you could make it, Gia. You didn't have to help Maria and Alex, but you did. Thank you. They didn't have enough money for a traditional memorial, but we made do.
I squirm in discomfort at the mention of the recently departed Aethoniers. I don't like it when things get too personal. Iron Hand is oblivious, steaming on ahead like a freight train.
The Free Home welcomed back all its lost children thanks to you. We owe you a debt, and we'll find a way to pay it.
I don't know what to say. Who would?
I remember our last conversation in the Free Home. You backed up Cress, which means you're loyal to your friends. That's good.
Okay, so you're a political group or something. I assume you didn't invite me to your secret hideout for a round of cribbage.
Oh, you assume correctly, sweetheart. And you'd better hope this little chat goes well.
Apollo, come on. I told you, she's legit.
I believe you, Chris. As does Apollo, or he wouldn't have come. However, before we move forward, there are things we must first discuss.
You killed the general. That's a good start. Wins you some points with this crowd.
So, what? I've seen your faces and now you can't let me leave? Is that it?
You've got it. There are two ways out of this room.
Yeah. Save it for the fan club, would you?
We just want to talk, Gia. Please, hear him out.
Fine. My afternoon's wide open.
Well, regardless, Tillinghast was just the beginning. We've got bigger fish to fry.
With a showman's grace, Apollo gestures to a map of the barony called Dreamland, where a photograph of an elegant, sharp-eyed elderly woman is pinned. Her face is framed by newspaper cutouts and tabloid headlines.
I take it you are familiar with Marm Weiss?
Sure, I've heard of her.
Good. But you may not be aware of the full extent of what she's up to. Dreamland's a den of vice, and she's its baron. She's supported by her hand-picked squad of elite, highly trained lieutenants called the Does, and she's aggressively expanding her territory.
Huh, that's putting it mildly. She's gobbling up every bit of floating real estate she can, and damn anyone who's rude enough to live there already. She's destroying lives. We can't look the other way any longer.
Terrific. And what does any of this have to do with me, exactly?
Oh, don't play coy, darling. You're going to help us take her down.
You got a crystal ball hidden in that jacket somewhere?
Pardon me?
Seeing as you know what I'm going to do before I do it, mind telling me why I'm helping you, Mr. Mysterio? Maybe he's used to trying on different emotions like hats off a rack, because the matinee idol's expression slides without friction into barely controlled rage.
As a matter of fact...
Iron Hand senses this change in temperature and extends an arm to restrain his partner's sudden surge of passion.
We'll pay, of course. We know your services don't come free.
Damn right they don't. Who's funding this little rebellion of yours anyway? How do I know you'll make good?
I've got more money than you've ever seen in your life, sweetheart. And I'm using it to fix this broken city. I'm helping people. What are you doing?
You're doing a real bang-up job so far. The lowers are really thriving right now. The angry flush in Apollo's cheeks bleeds into something more like excitement. I realize he's enjoying this.
Oh, darling. We're just getting started.
Gia, I've seen what you can do. We already have someone on the inside in Marm's camp, but we need your help. Plenty in it for you, too.
It's ridiculous. Who do these jokers think they are? I'm no joiner. But Cress is right. My rep needs a boost, and I need money. Not for the first time, I throw away rational thought like a pair of loaded dice, and go all in. Ah, hell. Fine. I'm charging double my usual rate, though.
Excellent. I knew we could count on you.
Cress's smile is so small, I doubt anyone else can see it. But it shines like a speck of gold in a fast-moving creek. Fool that I am, I start to think I made the right choice. I swing open the door, revealing a frazzled-looking Nellie, hair and glasses askew. She spots me and her shoulders drop with exaggerated relief.
Gia! There you are. Took me ages to find you. I wanted to...
There's an awkward pin-drop silence as she realizes the room is full of strangers, all staring at her. Her eyes collect new data points from all over the room, including the barren hit list on the wall.
Hi, everyone. I'm Dr. Eleanor Reinhardt. Nellie's fine.
How the hell did you find this place?
You're Apollo Diamond. I love your movies.
Yes, yes, what a pleasure. Sam, we need to have a chat about security.
Gia, he's a movie star. What's a movie star doing here?
How'd you find me?
Simple. I reasoned you'd be with Cress. Hi, Cress. I've seen you visit this lighthouse often. At first, my working hypothesis was this was a hideaway of sorts. But when I started seeing others headed in and out as well, people I didn't recognize, I realized it had to be.
Okay, I get it. You're pretty observant, huh?
Thank you.
Some might even say nosy.
Well, I didn't mean to.
Too late now, Principessa. Cat's out of the bag. No getting around it now, I guess. Nellie, this is Apollo Diamond. Apollo, Dr. Eleanor Reinhardt. Nellie flushes pinker than grapefruit juice. The kids stared down assassins, gangsters, scrappers, and everything else the lowers could throw at her. But faced with her favorite matinee idol, she's turned to jelly.
Nellie's fine.
Charmed, darling. You'll excuse me if we skip the autograph for now, Randazzo, is she trustworthy?
Probably more than I am. You going to toss her out?
Gia, what's going on?
I look to Diamond and he just throws up his hands, accepting fate. I take a moment to quietly catch her up on the situation. It's a lot of information to absorb all at once, but she soaks it up like an eager sponge. I'm sure it helps that she overheard half of it through the door. Kid, what are you doing here?
If I may be so bold, I'm a little concerned you all think some Baron is the most pressing problem facing us right now. In a matter of weeks, the well is going to devour the lowers, and then none of that will matter.
This pronouncement hits the room with clanging dissonance, as incongruous with the existing mood as a sidewalk smooch interrupted by a panhandler shrieking about little green men on Mars. Sam Lowe, the soft-hearted altruist, indulges her.
Is it now? And how do you know that?
She knows her stuff, boss. She's got Heights education. If we...
This is all quite fascinating, but I think we can save the science lecture for another time.
No, we can't! Which part of this are you struggling to understand? We need to do something about the well immediately!
Come on, let the kid talk. She knows more about this stuff than all of us put together.
Thank you, Gia.
Listen, I'm sorry, but our resources are committed elsewhere. I'm sure you're right about the well, dear, but right now, the Barons are the biggest threat to this city.
Fine. If you won't believe me, then I'll show you.
Nellie begins gathering items strewn across the table and narrating her thoughts, as though the hideout is a classroom and she's presenting an impromptu lecture. She places the flotsam onto the map in the center of the table.
This is the well, all right? And this can represent an island, and another, the lowers.
Despite the sudden oddness of this disruption, everyone is listening attentively. Little Nellie, or more accurately, Dr. Reinhardt, is in her element.
We all know the well is a concentration of gravity. This here is what you're used to. But it won't stay like this. My projections show the well rapidly increasing in size, and therefore, increasing in power.
All right then, I'll bite. What does that mean?
The kid's eyes flash to me as she realizes her science speak isn't getting through to this audience. Maybe I can help. You're on a roll, kid. Don't stop now. The others glance between us, but I hold her stare. Her face brightens, and she seems to take on renewed energy, like a sunflower soaking up summer rays. Nellie grabs the edges of the map, lifting them a few inches off the tabletop. The items representing our city's floating islands remain in place.
As the well increases in intensity, its pull on everything nearby will also increase. A few days from now, it might be like this. A month from now.
She hoists the edges of the map above her head, and the islands tumble violently towards the fold in the center, crashing together and breaking. The ember of a half-smoked cigar catches on the paper, and a line of ominous smoke bleeds upward from the shattered debris.
You see? It's only getting worse. And if we don't act now, the well will destroy the lowers.
How can you know this for sure?
The mathematics are consistent, and the results are unequivocal. Over and over again, my models show the well destroying the lowers in a matter of weeks.
I hope you're wrong, kid. But I don't think you are. There's a pause, and then Apollo motions silently for Sam to join him. They confer in hushed voices. The kids' demonstration was harsh, but clear. And when the rebels turn back to us, it's obvious they know it too.
If you're right about this, then we can't let this lie.
All right. Say we throw out our plans and refocus everything on the word of this little jumped-up college kid. The whale's the thing, sure. What exactly are we supposed to do about it?
I'm so glad you asked. I've got just the solution. I've drawn up a blueprint for a dynamic Aether inertia subversion emitter, or DAISY for short. She'll fix the well.
Oh, wonderful. And this has all been an incredible waste of time. Thank you so much, darling. Now we have barons to deal with. Off to work with you. Chop chop.
Oh, I can't construct her yet. I'm missing an Aether core. A Bronson 6X-340 to be exact.
Yeah. Let me check my parts bin real quick. You think you can find Aether cores just lying around? Or some Aetherians stupid enough to crash their own island for a payday they'd never even see?
Sorry, run that name by me one more time.
Cute, isn't it? I tried out a few others, like Clara, short for Centripetal Lift Actuator Resonance Array, and Mouse, Mass Offset Unit for Singularity Elimination, but she just really seems like a daisy to me.
Okay, if you say so. Cress, take it easy.
You know what she's asking is crazy, Gia. Aether cores are what keep entire islands floating. Even if you can find one.
It'll cost a pretty penny, I know. Millions of pretty pennies. Just give the kid some air, all right? Cress throttles down, crossing her arms and raising a skeptical eyebrow.
Apollo, what do you think? Is there anyone in our network?
Oh, there's Hi-Hat Abernathy, but he's unreliable. The mistress would have been preferable, but she's dead. I suppose there's always Killmire.
Oh dear.
Who's that?
A power broker based in Little Germany. A baron, until Marm took everything from him. Deadly as a tiger, with some of the most powerful connections in the city. He might just be the only person who can get his hands on an Aether core.
So, who's going to ask him?
Oh, and we have a volunteer. Thank you so much, Gia darling.
Hang on a second.
You'll meet with him and arrange a deal. He'll be putty in your hands, I'm sure of it.
Fine. In for a penny and all that.
Excellent. What fragrance is that, by the way? Beaufort? Wear that. He'll like it.
In the meantime, we'll reach out to our mole in Dreamland and gauge the situation there.
Well, that makes 2 new recruits in one day. We've had worse. Welcome to the underground, Gia. Nellie. We're going to do great things together.
With that, he turns his attention back to his work. We stand there, fresh fodder for the cannons, dismissed without a word. I shake away my uncertainty and pull Nellie aside. Hey, I enjoyed your little demonstration. Can we talk?
Thank you. A bit crude, but I think it served it. Yes, sure. Come by the lab when you're ready.
Look what the cat dragged in.
Hear anything from White Street? Her eyes listlessly follow a mote of dust, thoughts lost to a barony miles away.
Whitecaps didn't get into the free home. Poppers held them off until Eli died. Now, they're too busy fighting over that bloody throne to care about getting into a scrap with a bunch of rats. Everyone except Eli's old spy master. Aetherians might be getting regular supplies, but Pitt's keeping them all on a tight leash. Any item touched, any place visited, all get logged.
Can't imagine it's easy for anyone over there right now.
No.
How are you doing, Cress?
Exactly how long are you planning on mother henning me?
That depends. Is there anything I gotta worry about?
Well, Nosy, since you asked, I'm doing better. I can hold a wrench, and I'm focused enough to keep my eyes on the road. Helps we got bigger things to worry about than Eli, thanks to you and your client putting a spotlight on the well. See ya.
The kid keeps a glass jar close at hand, half full of sweets. I'm sure she won't mind if I sneak one. Nellie seems to be applying her vast know-how in the construction of some kind of Aether-powered gizmo. I recognize some parts salvaged from Cress's garage, but some pieces and the ultimate function of the thing are alien to me. Nellie's chalkboard is crammed to the edges with physics equations and calculations and all sorts of mathematical junk I can't begin to parse.
Hi, Gia.
Hey, that was quite the demonstration you put on in there. How come you didn't tell me you'd found a solution for the well?
I came running in to do just that, silly. Thankfully, we're all up to speed now. I've had a major breakthrough after studying the red Aether weaponry we acquired in White Street.
Well, don't keep me in suspense.
With some effort, it can be harnessed and controlled as purple Aether, or as I like to call it, harmonic Aether. Isn't that exciting?
How does that work exactly?
Well, as you know, Aether-derived artificial gravity can be created and focused using electromagneto-gravitational fields by channeling Aether mist through specialized lattices. But by manipulating the resonance of those fields, it's possible to excite Aether molecules into a variety of interesting states. With me so far?
I think so. Keep talking.
Great! In its naturally occurring, energetically stable form, Aether glows blue. That's the Cherenkov effect, of course. But by tightly focusing the resonance of a blue Aether field, its energetic potential increases almost exponentially, at which point it glows red. However, in this highly energetic state, Aether is also highly unstable. The energy output is terrific, but with increased power comes increased likelihood of catastrophic system collapse. This is why red Aether is so dangerous. It's potent, yes, but there's no way to guarantee it won't release all its energy at once, at any moment. Which means...
Which means...
Kaboom! But, as I said, I believe I found a specific resonant frequency we can use to stabilize red Aether while it's still maximizing its energy potential. And, as a bonus, the photons moving through at that specific frequency produce a lovely deep indigo color. Quite pretty.
Wow. Okay then. I'm becoming strangely familiar with the feeling of admiration I get talking to this kid. She's more than smart. She's a damn prodigy. How did you do this so fast?
To be honest, many of the initial advancements were made at Olympus Park by my mentors and colleagues. The issue was always heat dispersal, but I think I found a way around that. It was quite simple, actually.
So what you're saying is...
I'm the best there is. Not to brag or anything.
Okay, sure. What exactly does that mean for us?
It means that red Aether is quite unsafe, but also has huge potential for amazing practical applications. With the correct modifications, we can enjoy the benefit of its enhanced power without its dangerous instability.
Nellie indicates a tangle of steel and wires glowing from within with a warm violet tone. After a moment, I recognize it as part of General Eli's war weaponry.
I was able to convert the General's red Aether weapon into a stable beam emitter. See? Harmonic Aether.
I'll say it, Doc. I'm impressed. This is really safe for me to use?
Oh, certainly. And this is just the beginning. The more you can salvage, the more experimentation I'll be able to do in my free time.
Thanks, Nellie. This is great work.
You're so very welcome. But if you really want to thank me, I'd like to come along to meet this Killmeyer person.
Nuh-uh. He may have had his wings clipped when Marm took over his barony, but he's still got claws, and he keeps them sharp. You don't want to be anywhere near him.
I can handle myself, you know.
I know you can, kid. But he's the type to slit your throat as soon as look at you. And you're too valuable to put at risk right now. Answer's no.
Come on, I insist. Can you distinguish an Aether core from a venting filter? You'll need my expertise, or else he might swindle you.
You are the expert, and he is a swindler. Guess I can't argue with that.
Excellent. Oh, it'll be fun.
Of course it will. See you soon.
Miss Randazzo, rough skies today.
What else is new, huh? Listen, I need a ride to Klein Deutschland.
Killmeyer's turf? A rabid dog on his best days. And now he's cornered, foaming at the mouth. Why would you ever want to go there?
A lot of rumors about him. I heard he's into all sorts of skullduggery.
Then you heard right, girl. He's got eyes all over the city.
But if his territory's been taken over by Marm, he can't be that dangerous anymore, can he?
It's the wounded animal what bites the hardest. You ought to stay away from him if you want to stay upright.
Not much chance of that, I'm afraid.
Well, then take this. No use for it myself. Might be you can butter him up a bit.
Frog hands me an antique compass, stamped with a German manufacturer's label. Despite its age, I can see my reflection in its clear, burnished brass. I've heard of the guy, but haven't met him. Have you?
Once, years back, hired my tug for a week. Some kind of German festival or some such.
Oktoberfest?
Gesundheit. Anyways, he was a baron back then. Not so much anymore. Now that old Dreamland duckie's got her claws in him.
Interesting. What was your impression of him?
Big man. Big appetites. Not a feller used to hearing folks say no.
Okay, let's go.
All aboard then?
A checkpoint ahead. It looks pretty serious. I don't think I'm getting through without credentials. It's too early to make a scene. We'll risk the Underground's plan. We're here. The Spritzenhaus Beer Hall. New York's own little slice of Bavarian cheese, and Killmeyer's personal haunt. Little Germany's a veritable forest of no-good varmints, and he's the biggest one with the sharpest claws. I should step carefully. Got no interest in getting scratched.
I've heard they have soft pretzels. I can't wait to try one.
We talked about this. You're staying put.
Okay. You're right. I'll just listen to my radio shows. Don't be long.
Nellie switches on the radio and tunes the dial to some torrid-sounding drama. I didn't even realize we had an AM transmitter in this heap. The place is a riot of music, laughter, and German conviviality. Spilled beer makes a flytrap of the floor. Rusting suits of armor guard the perimeter, and the air stinks of sweat and smoked meat.